Hi, everybody. My name is Renee Long, a communications specialist and webinar coordinator here at American College of Healthcare Sciences. And joining me today behind the scenes for all our technical needs is Dominic Aiello, a social media specialist and webinar coordinator here at ACHS. And today we'll be hosting a webinar from our Lunch and Learn webinar series. It's my pleasure to welcome you to today's Lunch and Learn webinar, How Much Time Do I Need for My Studies? Hosted by our very own Dean of Admissions, Amy Swinehart, and Senior Admissions Advisor, Amanda Heller. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started. You may have noticed that your line has been muted. We are recording today's webinar, and this helps ensure we can clearly hear our presenter. You'll also notice that you have a control panel at the right-hand side of your screen. So if you have a question for Amy or Amanda during the webinar, go ahead and type it into the questions box, and we'll read and answer those questions during the 10-minute Q&A session at the end of the webinar. If you have further questions that may require a bit more depth of answer or even a conversation, you can feel free to follow up with Amy and Amanda directly at admissions@achs.edu, and they're happy to respond to all your questions. And now I'll go ahead and turn the webinar over to Amy and Amanda, who are going to start the presentation. So welcome, ladies. You should have control of the screen.
Thank you. And welcome, everyone. I am Amy Swinehart, Dean of Admissions, and happy to be presenting the second of our admissions series webinars. A little bit about ACHS for those of you joining us who are not familiar with us. The school was founded in 1978 in New Zealand by our president, Doreen Peterson, who is actively involved still with the college today. We are nationally accredited by the Distance Education Accrediting Commission. That is an accredited body of the U.S. Department of Education. We offer fully online, flexible programs in a wide variety of holistic health modalities. And our admissions advisors are here to assist you in finding what is going to be the best fit for you. We offer certificates, diplomas, and undergraduate associate degrees, as well as graduate certificates and master's degree programs. I'd like to introduce you to the full admissions team, including myself. We have Amanda Heller, who's our Senior Admissions Advisor, Felicia Royce, who's another advisor, as well as Elizabeth Scheit, who is also involved with, assisting students with moving forward in their success. Admissions advisors, again, will work with you to, discuss your goals and your interests and where you're wanting your education to take you today throughout the whole application process. This webinar today is really about the time commitment that one really needs to know needs to be invested into their studies. It's so important, especially with all of the other things everybody deals with daily on throughout their lives. It's just important to know up front what to expect as a student here at ACHS. Undergraduate students and graduate students really need to be prepared to commit at least 9 hours of study time a week. I will say that's a minimum. Graduate students, it may be up to even 12 hours a week. It really depends on the course and course content, and each person individually has own study methods. Some people, may not need as much time, but others might. And so you need to expect, that it will differ for you compared to other students in your class. So you will need to be prepared to invest a lot of time. Depending on what your situation is as far as, life alone, let alone a career, family, your advisor will really work with you to determine how many classes is going to be best for you to commit to on a semester basis. A full-time undergraduate student is going to be committing, possibly up to 40 hours a week of study time. And that can be a lot if you're working full-time as well. So we, again, will discuss with you what's going to be the best route for you to take. And, as far as graduate students, we really don't suggest taking more than 2 classes, again, just because of that workload that is involved, again, especially if you are, do have a full-time job. Within the undergraduate programs, it's good to know that those have more of a practical approach to your studies, whereas the graduate level programs are going to be more research-based. So again, a lot of factors to think about when you're talking with an advisor to know exactly what level of education is going to be the best fit for you, as well as the best program. As far as the semester course outline, we offer 3 semesters a year, every January, May, and September. And those semesters do run for 16 weeks. Within those semesters, you're going to have, I would say at least, it says 12 to 16 modules per semester. Again, it's going to depend on the subject and what is involved. You will have a syllabus and calendar that, we recommend that you keep track of that is in your classroom, and we'll discuss later on some other options of what's going to allow you to stay focused and really set aside that time for your studies. Your instructor will go over what lessons are to be studied that week, and what other work might be required of you, whether it be reading, doing some research, or even possibly watching a video. But do know that there is no specific time that you have to log into your studies. We understand everybody has things going on, and not everybody's going to be able to log in at the same time. So, it's up to you to really find that time to log in when you do have that time, no matter what time of day. You do have access 24/7 to your classrooms, which is a great benefit for some students. And I'm going to turn this over to you.
So what should we expect? We're starting classes, here in the next couple months, and a lot of students will want to know how are things actually broken down, because we do allow for a lot of flexibility in that we're not requiring students to be logged in at any particular time or any particular day, but we still want you to maintain successful progress to your class weekly, so you're keeping up your classmates and your assignments. So typically you can expect to have a minimum of 1 written assignment for each class you're taking due weekly, and those are due by Thursday evenings. And those written assignments are typically 300 to 500 word essays that are based on pretty practical-based work, actually, not just theory-based subjects. You also have weekly quizzes or exams for most of your courses, and you can expect that to be due by Sunday evenings. So while you're creating your weekly schedule, you want to make sure you keep, very mindful of those due dates, so that way you're not missing any points for late assignments. Also, a huge part of our courses is the interaction. You're not sitting in the classroom at a college campus, so we have created discussion boards, which are set up more like a forum, and the students, classmates, instructors will be online actually actively communicating on those discussion boards. Because we're not requiring those live sessions, again, the classroom, the discussion boards within the classroom is available 24/7 for students to go post their work as well as respond to the feedback and questions they've gotten on their work. So next slide, Amy. Let's break it down. So say you take the 2 classes we recommend to get started. That's approximately 18 hours of study time per week. We got to keep mindful of those Thursdays and Sunday due dates. So that's about 2 to 3 hours a day of schoolwork. So you got to ask yourself, can you commit to this? If you have certain schedules that you definitely know you're not going to be able to be in front of a computer, especially at the beginning of the week, that's something we should look at, because we got to find time so that way you're getting your readings and your assignments done. And we're going to talk about how to fit that in. We go to the next slide. I have this really cool theory, that rule of thirds. I love this because a lot of times it becomes really overwhelming thinking about everything we have to do, but this makes it feel so much easier. So the first third of being a successful student is the actual reading your textbooks and studying. The other third of your time should be spent working on your actual homework exam or homework assignments and then completing your exams at the end of the week. The other third should be taking the time, logging into the classroom, being on the discussion boards, reading each other's work, so you and your classmates' assignments, and responding to the discussion board posts. And these aren't responses like, I agree with you, or I liked your assignment. This is your chance to really stand out, have a college-level discussion, and show that you've read your work and you have those quality discussions that you have if you were in the classroom. So if you think of it that way and you break up your weeks and days into the thirds and make sure you're checking them off the list, you should do really, really well in the school. Back to you, Amy.
So the question is, where do you find the time for your studies? And it's something that a lot of people struggle with. It is actually it is a balancing act. For myself as a mother, I talk to students all the time that I can relate to who have a career, but then also want to go back to school, but then also have a family that they're committed to. So taking all that into consideration, you really need to be honest with yourself and think about what you can commit to and what your family can commit to, knowing that this is something that you have a passion about, you want to educate yourself further, and you need to gain that support from your family, as well as friends and the community.
I love it. So breaking it down, where does it actually fit into your schedule? So you've decided that you're truly committed to this. So I like, when I work with students one-on-one, to really look at how does it not just fit into your week or your month, but your real life. So my first suggestion, recommendation, and tip is literally start writing down your daily activities for a week. Monday through Friday, Monday through Sunday. So you can say, I spend this many hours at work. I have an hour break at lunch. I spend 45 minutes before I start cooking dinner at home, watching TV. So you can start figuring out where you can slide school into your personal life. Things to think about isn't just work and going to bed, but all the family activities you have. Do you have kids playing sports and band? Are you running them around? Do you have a career where maybe you have to travel? Commuting time, I know myself, I commute anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half. So it's something I had to take into consideration when I went back to school. Household chores, because at the end of the day we still have to take the garbage out and do our dishes. And of course, social activities. A lot of my students are involved in the community somehow, or like taking classes, dancing, you name it. So some tools to stay organized. With the, of course, technology movement, online calendars are huge. Google, if you have a Gmail account, has a fantastic calendar. You can sync it to your phone with an app, get reminders, and break it down. The calendar works hour by hour of your day. So if you go back to where you made notes on where your daily activities are for the week, you can start plugging in on the Google Calendar when you want to study so you get a reminder. Use your phone. There's different apps. So you can find an app that works for your type of schedule, whether it's certain types of reminders, daily lists, you name it. Desk calendars, some people are old school. If you need a flat calendar, a paper calendar you carry around with you, actually use it though. Don't be like me where I got one for home and it's still sitting in my purse unused. And then of course, personal journal and daily task lists. Some people do fantastic just making a checklist and making sure it's completed by the end of the day. And making notes in the day what you did accomplish and what you can change to fit more in next week.
So some great tips, Amanda. So, of course, as she also touched on, choosing your priorities. When there's so much going on in our lives, we do have to take a step back and think about what needs to be first and then second and so on. As I mentioned as well, it is really important to gain your family support. Sit down with your children or your husband or a friend and just say, listen, this is something I really, really want to do, and I really need you to support me. So when that fun night, comes up, or a birthday party or a celebration for someone, is that something that you should go to? Or what do I need to do in order to get my studies done so that I can go and enjoy myself? That's what's important, is stay committed to what what you want educationally, but obviously, take that time to be with friends and family. because you do need that too. That's part of life. But just second guess some of the decisions you're making because you know what you want, your outcome to be with your education. And we will be here to assist you in being successful. And we want your family and friends to also be there to support you, in moving forward with your goals.
So, just piggybacking on what Amy said, who are your friends and family that can help? Who can you go to when you're having a tough day or a tough week? Or maybe someone can be your middle person when you need to explain to someone else that you can only stay for an hour at dinner so you can get back home to finish your exam on Sunday. Who can help with the kids in a pinch? Let's face it, it's not easy. I've had students that have neighbors they can call if they need to go grab the kids one day for them real quick. I've had students actually that happen to maybe live near each other or have just a friend in school that they live close to that'll, actually take turns watching the kids for each other so they can sit in a quiet house and work on their assignments. Ask yourself, who's going to keep you motivated? We all have our personal motivation, things that are going to drive us day to day, but who's going to be there to say, yes, you can do it, get back to your study, why didn't you finish your homework yet this week? But most of all, who are you going to celebrate with? Who's your cheerleaders? When you do awesome and you pass your exams or you write a really cool paper, who are you going to tell? Those are the people you want all around you as you're going through school and going to keep you, doing awesome and feeling fantastic. So as we continue, we want you, though, to enjoy the journey. School is, sometimes we feel like something we have to do or you're committed to it, we have to finish, but I love it. This is your one chance to just truly be absorbing and enjoying every moment of something you love and you're passionate about. I used to tell my students to take like a Post-it note or like a 3x5 card and write down why you're pursuing your studies. Why is this important? Why are you doing this? And literally tape it to your mirror at home. Or I know a good place at my house for us to put reminders is on the door so you see it before you leave every morning. Why are you pursuing your studies? We all need reminders to keep us motivated. And ask yourself, what would it mean if you didn't go to school? How are you going to achieve your goals if you don't do it or you're thinking about leaving? We truly, truly want every student we're working with that begin classes, we want to see you graduate and then see the amazing things you guys are going to do once you finish school. You guys are so inspiring with your passion and drive. I want you to be able to remind yourself of that too.
Absolutely correct. That is very important. So we wanted to share some tips from current students that they shared with us that we thought would really bring some insight to you in moving forward, whether it be with some ideas or suggestions. We felt that it was important for you to see this. So, getting back to the whole time management, that is so important. And all the students we talk to cannot stress that enough. Is make sure you're setting aside time for your studies, actually dedicating it like a job, like another job maybe if that's what it has to take. Using the Google Calendar, as Shirley mentions, is important so that you can stay on track with not only your educational goals but also your daily life tasks and goals. Make some time for yourself away from everyone. As Catherine says, shuts my office door. Basically probably says, listen, everybody, I really need to do my studies right now. I'm shutting the door. Please don't interrupt me. It might take some being firm so that people really understand this is a goal of yours and you are going to commit to it. Again, organization is key, and absolutely, it's when you are juggling everything that comes, to you. It is really important that you do stay organized and focused on what you're trying to get accomplished. Set a schedule. Again, it's all repeating of just what the important aspects of the time management is for studies when going back to school. A lot of our students haven't been to school in a while either, so it's like starting over in a sense. I recently took a class, it's been about a year now, but wow, I mean, things have changed. I've never studied online, and, work, family, and then school, you really have to commit to that. And, I can't stress enough how much it is to get that support from your families, that they know that this is really important to you, and it needs to be important to them too, to support you in moving forward. So there are lots of things to think about as far as time management.
Mm-hmm. So this is one of my favorite things, is telling people about our ambassadors. We have current students as well as some graduates that have, just love their studies and love working in the field and have applied to be ambassadors. And these are students actually that you can reach out to directly. They volunteered their emails and phone numbers. So if you go to the website, listed on the page there, you go read their story, their background, about the classes they're taking, and send them a quick message. Ask about what is it really like to be taking classes. What is it like being an online student and working? And they can give you some firsthand knowledge that's student to student, which I think is just fantastic. But also chat with them about how they're using their education, or they plan on using their education as well. It's just really, really awesome. So go check that out. Let's see. So I think that's it for now. Does anybody have any questions, Renee?
Let's see here. Yes, looks like we do have a question from Patrice, and she would like to know, Amy and Amanda, great pointers on this webinar thus far. I found success in my studies using these pointers. Unfortunately, it looks like she's going to just head out. So she's saying, can you please email me a copy? So I can definitely do that for Patrice. If anybody else has any questions, go ahead and pop them into the questions box, and Amy and Amanda are here to answer those for you. I'll give you guys a few minutes to type those in.
And just a reminder, I think, to all the people watching is, you and your advisor will work together as a team to figure out the best schedule. So don't let this make you feel overwhelmed. So this is truly just ideas to make it fit better into your life. We want you set up for success, and we're going to get you on a schedule that does that. So everything is balanced, and you can, feel like everything is falling into place for you once you start school.
Yeah. Okay, so we do have some questions. One question coming in from Shannon. She would like to know, how many classes can you take and still work full-time? That's a great question.
That's a great question, Shannon, and I think Amanda will agree. It's really up to the individual student. If you're working full-time, so that's 40, possibly plus hours a week. And then again, as a full-time student, you are looking at almost 40 hours a week of study time. So you really just have to think, can I really commit to 80 hours of that? And then what do I have left to do my other, take care of my other commitments in my life? And so those are the things you need to consider. We're happy to talk about it further with you and really break it down to really determine how many classes is going to be the best fit for you. There's always the option, which we recommend a lot, to maybe start with your first semester in 1 or 2 classes, and then if you feel you can add more, maybe do that for your second semester, so that your first semester you're not, just overwhelmed and you lose your passion for what you are so excited to, to study.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some great points. So we have a question from Jacqueline, who would like to know, what program allows you to get a bachelor's in aromatherapy?
Great question. We at this time don't have a bachelor's degree option, but honestly, if you want a career-specific path into aromatherapy, you'll want to talk to us a little bit one-on-one because that way we can narrow down your specific goal to fit you best with the program. Honestly, I'm not sure there's a bachelor's degree in aromatherapy in the U.S. So our certificate or diploma in aromatherapy will probably be the best fit because it's going to give you very career-specific, focused knowledge to move you from point A to point B quickly in a timely manner, but get you working in the field. But that's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Next question comes from Chris, and we covered this a little bit, but maybe you guys can elaborate a little bit more. What amount of work, homework, studying does each class require, or do you recommend?
An average of 9 hours a week per course. Do you want to follow up on that, Amy?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say the same thing. So again, for each 3-credit class you're taking, we recommend that you can commit at least 9 hours a week to your studies. And those studies might include, some reading, possibly watching a video, any research you might have to do, or any practical work, again, depending on the course that you're taking. Working with essential oils or herbs is something that would be part of your studies in one of those focused courses. Mm-hmm. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, I think that was pretty clear. So, Chris, if you have any follow-up questions to that, you can feel free to post those as well in the chat. Dominique would like to know, is there a support system, i.e. tutoring?
That's a great question, and there isn't per se anything for tutoring. However, I would say with the support you're going to get in your classroom, you definitely will have an instructor for each course that you're in that is there to absolutely assist you in any way that you need. So if questions come up, there's always those communication lines that you'll be able to talk with your instructor and get that help, individual help that you will need. And as far as other support, you will be in contact with all the other students in your class. So you can definitely, through the discussion board, post any questions or, anything that you need assistance with there. And then you'll have an academic student services team that will work with you as well. We're all here to support you throughout your studies in any way that we can assist you. So really just communicating and letting us know how we can help, what can we help you with is just really important as a student.
Mm-hmm. And to follow up on what Amy said, just because you're an online student doesn't mean you can't talk to your classmates and your professor or instructor. A lot of people, and I did this back in college when I used to be a lot more shy, is I would wait till last minute to show up at my instructor's office hours. That doesn't help me get my assignments in or my questions answered. As soon as you have a question, email your professor or instructor. Post a message to the general discussion boards. There's features in the classroom you can actually email your classmates as well, so you could send a general question about, a subject you're learning about. Same thing with reaching out to academics, and we tell students all the time, feel free if you're not sure who to ask, reach out to us. Call me, email me. I will get you to the right person so we can get you back on track or get you the help you need. Because if we don't know you need something, or your teacher doesn't know, we can't help you. We want to help you.
Yeah, great points, Amanda.
Excellent. Yeah, that's great points. So Katie would like to know, when attending ACHS, will there be daily webinars? And I'll let you guys take this as well, but I also have some thoughts on this, so go ahead.
Daily webinars? There aren't daily webinars. However, we do have a lot of them that would be available to you that have been previously recorded. We do try to do them. I mean, we're doing one every other week. And I know other departments and people involved with the college are as well. So we definitely provide lots of information through lots of different media. But yeah, Renee, you might be, have a little knowledge on that as well.
Yeah. So as a webinar coordinator, I can say that we have our public webinars and also specific students-focused webinars once to up to 3 times a month. So there's always something going on in terms of that. That's kind of a broader reach. But as far as your individual classes, your instructors will also have, they may have live chats. Usually when I was actively as an instructor, I would have live chats and live webinars once a week, and every day seemed a bit overkill. I know for my students, they didn't want to attend every day. But instructors also post videos and are pretty much in the classroom every day, checking the discussion board, checking the cyber cafe. So your instructors are very attentive and very available to you, and it's really up to them whether or not they do. Actually, I think it is required 1 live webinar per week. I would have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's actually required. So you will have
graduate courses. The professors volunteered their time to do the live chats. So they did a general consensus what's a good time for everyone that was taking the class, a good day. If you couldn't make it, that was fine. It didn't hurt your grade, but if you could make it, seemed to love it.
Yeah, and I always recorded mine, so I always sent them to all the students who couldn't make it. So it is very, very interactive. It's just not so much on a daily schedule, since people are have such varying schedules. And Katie also wants to know, can you schedule a webinar with your teacher if you need a little extra help? And that's yes.
Oh, yeah, I don't see why not. We tell students all the time. Again, it's about letting people know what you need. We use Skype with a lot of students. There's instant chat features in the classroom. So just, even ask for a phone call if they have office hours that are going to work with yours, for sure.
Yeah. Instructors are definitely open to scheduling time to talk to you one-on-one, whether that's via Skype or, they'll probably have their own preference of communication. It could be Skype or phone, but they definitely are open to that. Okay, so Shannon would like to know, are there any internships we can apply for through the school?
Not directly through the college, but we have an awesome career pages via the alumni pages on the website. So there are different, career-based jobs, internships that get posted, and we're more than happy to work with you to help you do that research and find those opportunities. I also encourage students to join a lot of the professional organizations, because a lot of them, for example, the American Herbalist Guild has student membership options, and that gives you access to their organization, their full website, looking for mentors and such. So it's just reaching out, letting us know your needs and what you're looking for, because we might even be able to get you in touch with some of our graduates and alumni practitioners.
Yeah.
What do you say, Amy?
Yeah, absolutely. We have our alumni practitioner directory available online. So definitely check out that part of the website. As a student, you will also be invited to join our My ACHS Connect, which is something that will connect you not only with students in your course or your program, but anybody involved in the college. So, you can get on there and become connected with people that may not be in your class, but they have the same interests of you, and you'll be able to, network in that way to see what's going on in their area and what they're doing, and hopefully connect in some way.
Definitely, for sure. And we have 2 more questions, and then we'll be about out of time. One more question from Shannon. Are there any plans in the future to add a bachelor's degree?
At this time, we have not heard of any. So, we do just offer the associate's or the then master's level degree programs. But I'm happy to talk to you, or Amanda, to just see what options are out there and what your interests are, to assist you in finding what's going to be the best path for you with us or, another institution. But again, I'm happy to talk to you about what your goals are and what you're trying to get out of your education to really help you determine the best path for you.
Definitely. And our last question, what do you do if you fall behind in studies?
Well, you want to, again, really communicate with your instructor, and that's what's really important, and or your academic advisor. But, it's just really important that if something comes up, if you are falling behind, we want to help you to get back where you should be. And so, please just reach out to us. Like Amanda said, if you don't reach out to us, we don't know what's happening, and we can't help, and we do want to help. So, it's important just to connect. If you are late with your assignments, you will be graded down. So if things are coming up, again, it's important to touch base with us before that happens so that we can really just help you in any way that we can.
Because it might just be a conversation. Things have been stressful. You're having a couple of hard weeks. Sometimes just having a discussion with someone that knows your student record, that cares, can help you get back on track. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. I had a horrible fear of talking to my teachers in college my first few years. I mean, I wouldn't go near their office hours, and it was such a huge mistake. As soon as I realized that they were just like me and it was okay to say, I needed help, they would have bent over backwards. So let us know what you need. Let your teacher know what's going on. Life happens, and we want to get you back on track. Okay?
That's a great question. It's a question a lot of folks have, so thank you for asking that one. Okay, we did have one more question, so I think, and after that I think we're definitely out of time, but I want to make sure we get to all our questions. The question is, how do you do anatomy and physiology virtually?
That is a great question. Our anatomy and physiology courses include a anatomy and physiology coloring book. So it allows you that sort of interaction with learning the systems of the body. I have not personally taken that class, but I've heard it's actually a lot of fun, and the students really enjoy it. And get out of it what they need to get out of it. Learning, anatomy and physiology from a holistic approach.
And you'll notice we break ours into 3 courses as well. So it's more extensive than a lot of students expect, because at most schools they have A&P 1 and 2, not 1, 2, and 3. And so each of our classes continue to build on each other and cover very specific body systems. So if you want to take a look at that, you can go click on those courses on the website, and it'll give you the course descriptions for 1, 2, and 3. But it's, because you're not in person, it's not going to be the lab-based experience you would have that some A&P courses are at the college where you're working with the cadavers. So, we're going to use the benefit of our technology and the curriculum design to make sure you're taken care of and have a strong foundation.
Excellent. Yeah, I have heard that a lot of people really do enjoy the anatomy and physiology classes, so I'm sure they're great. And that's about all the time we have for questions, but I want to thank you, everybody who came and attended our Lunch and Learn webinar today. And if you have any follow-up questions or you want to schedule a time to talk, go ahead and follow up with Amy and Amanda at admissions@achs.edu, and they're definitely happy to answer all of your questions. And please do keep an eye out for a recording that'll go out very soon, also with the slides. So just keep an eye on your email inbox, and also stay subscribed to our email list so you can make sure to get future invites for these webinars as well as our Master Lecture webinar series. And thank you so much, Amy and Amanda, for a wonderful talk. This was super useful, so thank you for that. And thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.